drivers and off-road racing enthusiasts from all over the world.
Off-road racing is important to Baja Designs because, simply put, it tests the envelope and it clearly makes or breaks the progression aspect of what we do and why we do it. The racers out here are the 1% pushing it to its full potential. This is a proving ground for every aspect of lighting.
Not only has employee pricing been extended at Alexander Ford in Yuma, it's better than ever. It's Employee Pricing Plus. You still pay what we pay on the entire lineup of new Fords. Plus, take a test drive this month and you could win $10,000 cash. Just scan this QR code to register. It's another incredible month to save on Ford Escapes, Explorers, Expeditions, and of course F-150s and Super Duties. For a difference you can count on, it's Alexander Ford in Yuma.
Grit beats talent every single time. Introducing the new BF Goodrich all-terrain KO3 tire. Legendary toughness made tougher. BF Goodrich, what are you building for?
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here once again with your next Method Race Wheels Fishgistics update presented by Fox Racing Shocks all day long. It is 5 p.m. and we are getting closer to the end of the race than we are the start of the race at this point. We have our lead vehicles that have departed the coast. They are heading inland. And let's see who we're talking about. We are talking about the 46 of Toby Price and Paul Wheel, with Paul Wheel behind the wheel right now. He is driving that thing to the finish, and they are currently in the lead. They do have a bit of a lead over Alan and Pudia. However, they have lost about a minute and a half on corrected time from when I started tracking them a little bit ago. They have just over about a 2-minute, it looks like, on corrected time lead right now over Alan and Pudia. But behind them, they also have Tavo Vidosala, who's right there behind Alan. So we got those top three cars driving really hard to get back into the coast. Check this out, though. Look at this. Robbie Gordon, at the end of our last update, they were in the pit and somebody thought they had a steering problem. It actually sounds like they had a problem with the motor, with one of the engines in there had a problem, and they were looking at it in the pit. They, I don't know if they fixed it or if they just said just go and they're just using the other engine, or I don't know what's going on there. I was looking at their in-car camera and it did look like both of the, yeah, both of the tacks are still working on the display. So they still have both engines going and they're not really losing any time. So I don't know. They're moving along still. It is, it's Max Gordon that's behind the wheel now. So Max Gordon is currently driving his first trophy truck race, and he's going. Gustavo Bedosla and Ricky Johnson are leading once again. These guys are on a gnarly win streak in the Legends class, so they're doing looking to take another win. But then back here, here's where we got some drama building back here. So the 81T Ethan Ebert and the 16T Cameron Steele. There's a little bit of drama. Apparently, these guys nerfed each other a little bit out on the course. First, it sounds like Cameron nerfed the 81T, then the 81T nerfed Cameron back. They're not too happy with each other. They're probably not going to get Christmas cards from each other at this point. So I don't know what's going to happen there. We're going to keep an eye on that, but they're both pretty fired up. I actually just talked to both drivers. Both Cameron and Richard are out of the vehicles right now. They were the two that were driving before, and they're both fired up a little bit. So, you know, Rubbin's racing, but thing with video cameras nowadays, we got video, so we get to see it. We get to see it probably, right? So that's what's going on in the two-wheel drive class. But right now it is the 81T. Ethan Ebert is still out front. Not by very much over the 16T, though. It is really close. It is really close. And it's I don't know. It's gonna be a good one. Let's see. All right, let me see. We might get a live update for you guys. So we got the like I said, it's got the 81T and then the 16T back here, and then we got the 82T Sam Baldy, followed by David Payne in the next Legend. So that's going to be your second place Legends car right there. And then we got the 26T Dave Taylor. This is actually Mason is driving this one, and it's the FNL truck, the spec truck. It's a spec truck. So we literally have a spec truck running third or fourth place right now in the two-wheel drive trophy truck class. Is a full spec truck. That's Mason Cullen's spec truck that they're racing under Dave Taylor's name to get points, because they're not racing the trophy truck this time. So they're actually racing a spec truck and two-wheel drive. So that's what's going on there. Behind them we have the 85T Mikey Lawrence, but they're at 0 miles an hour. That's probably a pit right there because that's on the highway. So that's a spot people are probably pitting. And then Lauren Healy holding it down for the Rock Donkeys out here, doing a great job. It's not a surprise to me that these cars came out here and did good. I really thought him and Von Gittin had a good chance on this course with those cars that they brought, those four-wheel drive 4400 cars. They're in some cars that are not made for Mexico, but they're actually doing pretty good in Mexico on this course. So Lauren Healy holding it down in the trophy truck all-wheel drive class, doing really well. He's in a top 10 overall right now. And if you count, we got, I think he's about 10th. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th physical. But I guarantee you on time, he's going to be in front of some of these guys. Like he's probably in front of the 85 and the 26T just based on time. So it's going to be cool to see where he finishes in the end. They're not going to win or anything, but if they get a top 10 overall finish, that's pretty cool for those guys. So super cool. Let's see. The 285, Justin Davis. That is our first spec truck. So first place in the spec class is right there. We got Kevin Thompson here. Second place in the spec class is right there, the 273, Jordan Brenthal. You guys say, who's leading the trophies? Well, that's right here, 46, Paul Wheel. And actually, it's right here. There you go. That is on board right there with Paul Wheel, Toby Price entry. Paul is in the car now. And Brent Bauman stayed in there all day. He's still in there, and Paul's trying to bring it home. He's got crazy Alan Impudia trying to run him down, though, so Paul's got to stay on the gas. They have no time to take a breath here, no time to relax. Paul has to be on his game right here and get this thing to the finish strong, because he's got, like we said, he's got Alan Impudia coming right behind him. So this is pretty cool. They're on a real fast section right here, fast and windy section. Pretty cool. That's a big cliff on the right there, by the way. How'd you like to be driving a trophy truck right there, going that fast with a cliff on the side of you? It's better if you're on the left side of the car because you have the steering wheel and the brake pedal. If you're on the right side, it's always a little sketchy because you don't have any control. You have your mouth to control, and that's about all you have. But physically, you don't have any control of the car. But they're getting it. I mean, look at this. Paul is hauling the mail right now. So pretty cool to watch those guys. That is Paul Wheel, your overall leader right there. That is the 46. Cool in-car view there. Thanks to Starstream and Starlink and everybody for bringing us these awesome views. Alan Impudia, same thing here. I'll show you Alan's. Hang on, I'll bring it over here. There's Alan's right there. There's a look at your second place overall right now. So your second overall right there is Alan Impudia. You can see he's just behind Paul. Remember, we saw Paul on the same type of road just a second ago, so he's not that far behind him at all. So pretty cool. That's your one. That's your second place. There's your first place right there. 1 and 2 both have live cameras. All right, let's go and look at some other classes. We said Justin Davis is winning the spec right now. He's leading. We have Jordan Brenthal entry with Abdali Lopez in second, and then we got to zoom in a bit here. It gets close for third. Look at the podium spot. Mike Mersal, Jack Olagus, EJ Herps. They're all fighting for third through fifth right there. It's 3, 4, 5. Then in sixth place, it's Jorge Sampatero. We always got to watch corrected time because Sampatero's, he started back a little ways, so he might be sneaking up. Ben Hagel up there, Ryan Hancock, and then look at this, Brock Heger. It just continues to pick the spec trucks off, the two-wheel drive trophy trucks off in his UTV out there. I mean, he's the guy's an animal. He might finish, 10th overall, above 10th overall again. What did he finish, 8th or something at the Baja 1000? I mean, this is even a shorter race, and he's going to be in the top 10 overall on time. The guy is an animal. Those SCI Factory Polaris Pro Rs are just they're machines. And the guy's won everything for the last just about 2 years in a row now, I think. He's on a good one. So Brock Heger there, just doing what he does. He's catching up to Ryan Hancock there in a spec truck. I mean, he's almost caught all the spec trucks except for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Call this one caught. He's only not caught 7 spec trucks, and there's over 20. And he started behind them all. I mean, it's a spec truck. That's a $500,000 spec truck getting caught by a $140,000 Pro R. It's pretty crazy. You could buy 3 of those Pro Rs for the price of 1 spec truck. Think about that. That's gnarly. All right, so going back down here, we got the 282, and yes, he passed all the class 1s. That was a long time ago. They were all kind of broken though, honestly. I don't know if he passed any of them when they were running. Maybe he did, but yeah, he's ahead of all of them. They're all broke. Let's go and see. We'll see if we can find one that's not broke. The Wilson car was moving a little bit ago, and the 168 got going again. Okay. Oh, well, they're stopped again. They did get going because they moved from where they were stopped before. They were stopped over here before. So the 168 is lead RPI car, but they're definitely having some issues. You can see they're at 0 miles an hour again. Let's see if we can find where the Wilsons were still a ways behind them because they rolled it and they were on their lid earlier. There they are. All right, so you can see Wilson's right here and RPI is right here. So they're kind of on the, there you go. They're on the opposite side of the little loop right here. So they're not very far apart if you go straight between them, but you got to go around the loop. So they are a little farther apart. They're at 213 and RPI is at 255. So what's that, about 30 miles apart, 40 miles apart from each other? So we'll see. Can the RPI car get going again or not? The Wilson car is moving. RPI is not. So we'll just we'll see what happens there. What'd you say? 600. Dan Ross says 680,000 for a spec truck now. There you go. More than 500,000. They're 680, and most of them are getting beat by a car that costs $140,000 that you could go buy. That's how crazy that is. That is insane. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of those. All right. Who else? Is Max City Junior's back here? I got to turn some of these layers off because there's too many cars here. Let's just turn on class 1 and we can show you class 10 at the same time. Oh, RPI car is putting fluid in and going to get moving. Okay, so it sounds like they're either burning up fluid or they got a leak, and as long as they can keep putting some fluid in, maybe they'll be able to finish. So that's what's going on in the 168. Class 10 is a good race still. Zach McLaren. Oh, that's a new leader. Zach was not leading last time. Eliseo's been in second all day. And then what happened to, who was it? Was it Hunter or who was the one? Harley. That's what happened. 0 miles an hour. Harley was leading the whole race, probably until right there where he went to 0 miles an hour. So that's what happened to our leader. So our new leader now is Zach McLaren, who's made up quite a bit of ground because Eliseo was second. So he did pass Eliseo physically. Zach has gotten around him. Elliott Watson is now up to third. And then we have Matt Willert is going to be fourth. Then over here, Francisco Vera, Harley. Oh, Harley's moving again. Okay, that's good. And then Jason Shipman. So that's your class 10 race right there. Let's go see who else. Yeah, I mean, the Pro UTV Open, watch this. Like, this is insane. So there's Brock way up here. He's at mile 295. Second place is at 279. So he's got a 16-mile lead on second place. These cars are all the same. These are all the Pro R cars. And these are all, I think Justin Morgan is in an SCI car. So that's second. Brandon Sims, I don't know if Brandon Sims got his car yet or not. I'm pretty sure he's getting an SCI car too, but I don't know if he got it yet, the factory Polaris Razor. I do know that Justin Morgan is, because that's Brock's teammate. So, I mean, these are both the same cars, and he's 15, 16 miles ahead of his teammate. That's just crazy. Then Brandon Sims back here, like we said, Caden McCachran is going to be running 4th. And then Michael McFadden and Kristen Matlock. Oh, Kristen is ahead of Wayne now. What happened to Wayne? Where is Wayne at? Where did Wayne go? Did I miss him somewhere? Or did we see, or did he break? Where is Wayne? Oh, there he is. He's down there. Oh, Wayne is out, it looks like. He is on the highway. That's not good. That's not a good spot to see Wayne at. So it looks like Wayne Matlock may be out of the race because he's on the highway right there. So that's not good. Kristen Matlock is right there. So they got one of their 2 cars still in the race. That's what's going on in the Pro UTV Open class. Let's go look at the force induction. It was really close. Remember Caden Wells and Dustin? Oh, look at it. Caden's still holding him off down here at the bottom. 53 miles an hour. Caden Wells and Dustin Jones battling back and forth. They're right there. I don't think Dustin Jones has got around him yet, but he's been right on his bumper. We saw him before. He was 0.2 of a mile behind him at one point. And right now, look, 243.0, 243.6. So he's half mile behind him. That's first and second place in the pro force induction class. So really good race there in between them. And we were being told Wayne blew a PTL. Ah, that is a bummer. That is one weak link. I will say I've heard more PTLs broken in a Pro R than anything else. That's really that's the one weak link. The PTL, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's what actually kind of drives the clutch to turn the front wheels. So when you lose the PTL, you lose front wheel drive. You still have rear wheel drive, but the problem is all the power is going to the rear wheels, and the axles almost always break in the rear after you lost the PTL. So if you notice you lost the PTL, you can kind of back it down to like 50% throttle, and you can try to baby it in on the rear alone, rear wheel drive, and save the rear axles. But most of the time it's hard to save the rear axles once you lose the PTL, and they end up just breaking the rear axles a lot of time. So it's a bummer. It is it's been a problem. I haven't heard of it lately too much with a lot of the cars. It was worse like about a year ago, but some of the newer ones have been better. So hopefully they can get that fixed again. But yeah, bummer for Wayne Matlock there on the PTL. Let's see. Someone said could be PTO, just overheard on live. Yeah, PTL. It's one of those things. Mostly the PTL that goes out most of the time. But yeah, that's a bummer. So let's see what else we have. The 1600s. There's a couple of those. So we got 2 of them right here. We got Daniel Goodrich right there, and then we got Eric. So the 1600 and the 1625. That is your first and second right there. And then let's see. Other than that, what else do we got? Class 7. This is Reese Millen leading earlier. He still is. But look at Dan Shamley. Dan Shamley's hanging in there. This is an all-wheel drive car, if I'm not mistaken, that Reese Millen's driving, right? This is one of his all-wheel drive custom-built cars. So Reese Millen there. Dan Shamley right there hanging with them. So pretty good race, even though there's only 3. At least the first 2 are pretty close. Let's see, what other class was up here? Class 5 Unlimited. Did we check on them much today? There's only 2 of them, so probably didn't check on them too much. Oh, there you go. So Eli Yee is pretty much got the whole race to himself. I don't even know where the other one is. Back quite a ways. So the 513's back here, not very close. So Eli's just got to finish at this point. The Pro Stock NA class. Let's see, there's a bunch of these. There's 22 of these. So it's Francisco Beltran is first still. Second, Scott Bergen. Antonio Mendez is going to be third. And then it gets a little dicey here depending on when they update. So Yoshio, Marco, Kyle, and Ende right there are going to be your next third, fourth, fifth, and sixth right there in the Pro Stock NA. And then the naturally aspirated, not stock, another UTV class. We have so many freaking UTV classes. It's so annoying. All right, so the Pro UTV NA is really close at the front. Look at this. We have Ricardo Torres and Corbin Lieberton at the exact same spot. 216.0 and 216.0. No, just updated. So we have 217.3. But that one hasn't updated in a minute, so it's going to be right up with the other one. They're literally right on top of each other. So it's either Ricardo or it is Corbin here. They're both at the exact same spot when it updates together. So pretty cool. That is the UTV NA class right there. It's really close between the top 2. And then the next is going to be Joe Bolton back here in third place. But great battle going between the first 2 in that class. So I think that's about it, really. Let's cover Class 11s, and then maybe that'll wrap up this update. We should have a finisher by the next, I don't know if it's going to be the next update or not. We'll look in a second here. All right. Oh, we're getting a battle. Look at this. They're getting close. Oliver Flemetes lost a little bit of ground. Rafael has turned it up. He is doing whole 26.3 miles an hour. He's doing 1 mile an hour more than the 1100, but that's a good battle. 158 and 16 within a mile of each other. We got the first two 11 cars, and then not too far back is Eric here, but oh, he's at 0 miles an hour again. You never want to see that for a Class 11 car. They do have a long time to finish this, but we'll see what happens. But they're moving. We got 2 out of the 3 moving at least. Yeah, let's go check on the front one more time, and then we got to post some more updates. So your leader right now is Paul Wheel, right there, right here. You can see they're on the highway. This is a transit section into Santa Tomas, I believe, right? We go look on the thing. Yes. So they're in Santa Tomas right now. So here's your leader, Paul Wheel. He's going to turn right off the highway in a minute. They're going to do the Europan section. It's going to take them back to Ojos, and then they're going to go back to the finish at the Nelson Ranch is going to be where the finish is, the timed finish. Once they get to there, the race is over. So anything between Nelson Ranch, and I'll show you guys where. So when you're looking at the map, so they're going to go right here. They're going to do the Europan section, come back up through Ojos, come across Ojos. They go back in the same way. Right here, you see this little dot on the tracker that says timing? That is the end of the race. There is no more time after that. That is the official finish. So once you see them right here, all they do is they just transit back to town on the highway real slow, and they go back for the ceremonial finish at the finish line. So whoever finishes right here first is going to be your winner on time. That's where your timing ends. Your race ends right there. You could literally put the thing on a trailer after there and take it to town and then take it off and go up the ramp. It doesn't matter. Like you just need to be able to get to here, and then your race is over. So that's the important part to watch when we're watching the finish. Now they have, let's see, 385, and they need to go to about, you can see that's 443, right where this bike's about to finish, right? So we'll say 445 for easy math. 445 is the real finish. They're at 385. That means they have to go 65 miles to go. It's not a super fast section. You're not going to average 60 miles an hour, so it's going to take them at least an hour. I would say 6:30 is looking like the soonest they would finish. My guess would be about 6:45, probably 6:45, might even be like 6:50. So in about an hour and 20 minutes will be your first finisher. It's either going to be Paul Wheel in the 46, or it would be Alan Ampudia not too far behind him, or Tavo not too far behind him. And then Robbie Gordon with Max Gordon driving right now to the finish. That's your look at your top trophies, and that's it. So I think that covers this this time. You can see, here we go. They're back in the dirt. So Paul Wheel just dropped back in the Europan section. This section is not very much fun. This section sucks, honestly. It really, it's a nightmare. Like after Paul's pretty fresh in the car because he just got in not too long ago. But if you try to drive the whole thing and then you get this section at the end, it's just it takes forever because you've been driving all day, and then you got to deal with this section. It's just tight, twisty, it's rough, it's bumpy. There's big washouts. Like it's just, it's not fun. There's no other way back to town. It's the only way back. That's why they run it every race. There's no other way back unless you want to parade up to town on the highway, on Highway 1, which who wants to do that? So this is your only option to get back into town, which is why it gets ran so much. All right. Well, that's going to conclude it for our update here. Come back at actually here. Hang on. Let's look at the times. Do we have times there? Yeah, we do. So I want to try to show you guys the time real quick. Let me zoom out. All right. This is getting very important now. Look at this. So Toby Price here at S4, that's about where they are right now, just a little ways back from where they are. He was first, but look, he had 2 minutes and 26 seconds corrected time on Alan Ampudia. So that means 2 minutes and 26 seconds he was ahead on corrected time. Remember, Tavo started first, and then Toby, and then Alan. So if Toby finishes first, Alan has to finish within 1 minute of him in order to beat him. If Alan is over a minute, he didn't win. And Tavo, if he's behind him, he didn't win. Tavo would have to be in front of him by 1 minute in order to win. So it's going to be real hard for Tavo to win at this point unless they both have problems. So it's really either going to be Toby or Alan, and Alan has to make up 1 minute and 26 seconds, 2 minutes and 26 seconds corrected time. So that's where we're looking right now at the finish. We'll see. What do you guys think? Is Paul Wheel going to be able to hold off Alan Ampudia to the finish? He's only got a little ways to go. He's still got, what do we say, 60 miles or something like that? So little ways, anything can happen. Let's see. Come back here at 6 o'clock, and we'll have one more update for you guys before the finish.